So, Sama, first question is, what is it
Hmm.
that you are doing right now? So, you are working. Where were you working before this, and what were you doing
Okay.
there?
So I was working with the JPMC, JP Morgan and Chase earlier in Hyderabad, but they're also right now I'm working with the banking domain again, but it
Mm,
was something to do with the customers of opening of your accounts. I'm basically a coder. So we
mm,
code things for your bankers. So you, for example, whenever you go to a bank, you open account. So
mm,
for that, in the software side, we are doing that. The issue with the JPMC at that time was the technology is not that good stack. The technology stack is not good, and work is also repetitive. There's nothing new to learn.
mm,
So
mm,
after a year only, I thought I need to move out, and then I started searching for jobs. So I landed off
mm.
couple of offers, and finally I decided to move with this Mastercard.
So give me a little bit background before that, right? So, where did you start thinking about becoming coder?
So when I started, for example, I'm from a small town, Shimla. There only,
Mm,
at that time there are only two things that you can do. Either you can
mm.
become a doctor or either you become an engineer. And when I got the option, so I thought that okay, if I do PMT side, if I'm not getting some good college, so there is no option of doing medicine in a private. At that time, there is very little places for medical. Then I decided, okay, I love video games, and that time I know that okay, video games need coding, something like to code. So I'll go with the C. I'll take computer science, and I don't have any
Right.
idea about mechanicals or computer science. I just wanted that mom will buy me a laptop new, a personal laptop, and
Mm.
I can code computer, sorry, games. So that was the
Right.
initial idea.
Yeah.
And when I reached my fourth year, so you know what kind of studies we do in engineering college.
Yeah.
And I know that I'm not gonna land up any job at that the college that I have done BTech. There is very little college placement, so I have to
Mm,
do. So one of my senior guided me. Okay, let's do code. Where to start
mm,
from coding? Okay, let's do it with the Java. So then I
mm,
found when I started running code, so I found it a bit cool that okay, I'm asking something to do and it's doing.
mm.
So at that time, this seems really fascinating, and you know that if you can code at that time, you people seem that you are a cool guy. So that was
Yeah.
the another reason I started coding, and after that, bus it started as a hobby. Then I landed up a job in Shimla, even though
Mm,
at that time I'm not looking for a job, but one of my friend asked me because he's starting a company at that time. So if you go
mm.
to Shimla bus stand, so any software they are using, I only created those.
Oh, lovely,
Yeah.
lovely. And so, what made you move from Shimla to JP, or did you start with JP
Oh,
first, or some
no,
other
no,
company?
no. I have a lots of changes. For example, I started
Mm,
from Shimla,
mm,
where then I went to Chandigarh.
mm,
So from Shimla, I left Shimla because again I told you that the friend that I was talking, the
mm,
company that I'm working with, a friend's brother, I think his
mm,
friend's brother friend only. So the thing
mm.
is that he has only this thing that Shimla bus stand is getting built over there, and he has in contract that they require software for the parking, the both the parking, your normal parking and car parking. So at that time I'm done with that, and those two software I have created within 6 to 7 months, which are working
Mm,
at that time. After that, there is no work. Then I went to one of his another friend in Delhi. There also I pick some small jobs. For example, if something required, then I'll do those kind of things. Then I thought it's better to move somewhere else.
mm,
Then I went to Chandigarh. Then
mm,
Chandigarh, I got a good company
mm,
for around 3 years. I worked over there.
mm,
2.5 years I worked over there.
mm.
It was into mainly into posting. So for example, whenever you write a code, so sorry, write any postcard or anything, these things get sorted. Okay, this will go to Himachal, this will go to Delhi, this will
Right.
go to Karnataka. So
Mm,
my company used to write a software for that. It automatically sorted into the bins.
mm,
So
mm,
again, there things get stagnated. Again, repetitive work, and I got an opportunity for Accenture. And the only reason for Accenture at that time that I am going to a new city, Pune, a
mm.
bigger city and a bigger name.
Right.
So from Pune, then there also I worked around 1.5 or 2 years in Accenture,
Mm,
and it was a good time over there. But when then I actually accidentally gave an interview. So for example, I was moving to going for vacation at my place, so I got ticket for Sunday only.
Mm,
So I
mm,
was free
mm,
in Saturday. So I got a call from HR firm that okay, we'll we'll give you tickets and everything as food, everything is covered. Can you come to Hyderabad and give an interview? So there I went just for okay. My friends were there. I thought I'll go there, do some interview first or second round. Then I'll roam around. Came back and next day I'll go to Himachal.
mm,
But luckily I cracked the interview over there, and the money was actually it's 2x than what I'm getting in Barclays. Sorry,
mm,
getting in Accenture. So I
mm,
moved there and I have a really good time over there.
mm,
For
mm,
example, banks are known to have a old technologies, but in Barclays I have a really good time. I spent almost 4 years, 4 plus years
mm,
over there. There I have worked for treasury, risk, finance, and treasury, and mainly in
mm,
treasury. So I worked
mm,
for there for 2 years. Then I went to wealth, and
mm,
wealth also I worked around 2 years. Once
mm,
that done, so again I got another opportunity. So I think again finance is another thing because hike in Barclays are good into bonus side, but for example, even if you are a top scorer, then you're only getting around you are touching double digits. So again, I
mm,
thought I need to get some hike. So I moved
mm,
to JP Morgan,
mm,
and JP Morgan, I told you that it was a really not a good project. I looked up for internal job posting also, and I was both time, and I also
mm,
looking for job offers. So I got a
mm,
better offer over there. So then I
mm.
moved to Mastercard.
So, what made you come into the career acceleration program?
So, okay, so the thing is that at that time, whenever I'm getting an interviews, so I'm
Mm,
getting through by only this Naukri.com. I'm not aware
mm,
of much of LinkedIn. So
mm,
one of my colleague from Barclays,
mm,
Anup,
mm,
so he told me about that. If it's okay, if you can look it into. So I thought, okay, I might be lacking somewhere. Let's go over there. So
mm.
then I started watching one of your video. Then I thought, okay, let's give a try this thing also, and that worked for me.
Okay. And what is it that worked? What worked
So
in
I
there?
think so I think most of the one thing that I can say is my LinkedIn profile.
Mm, mm,
So the thing that you have told me how to write, for example, initially what I write, working in JP in Pune or in city, and that's
mm,
done. And I
mm,
attach my things. But the things that you have told me about, okay, these are the things that you need to add up in your LinkedIn bio, or it's something that these are the codes that will work on. And I think once I started doing that, I changed everything. The interaction and the iteration of people coming to my LinkedIn profile is much higher.
mm,
I think
mm,
it's potential. I think it's 20x more than what I used to get, 20 to 30x. Now daily I got any okay, this is recruiter is connecting to you. So I think
mm,
that's the biggest thing that I have received. Another thing,
mm,
how to present. So there are a couple of times it's happened, interview is good, but still you don't get answer. So now
mm,
that I know that there are a couple of things that need to be said, not to be said, how to present those things. So I
mm,
think
mm, mm.
this program is helped me on that also.
So, someone now that you've cracked into Mastercard, what's your long-term game plan? So, what do you want to do in the next 3, 4 years? Have you thought about those things?
Correct. So right now, within if I see into Mastercard only, so the project that I'm working, it's actually I want to move it into cloud only. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm thinking of. I need to modernize everything and else. Another thing
Mm,
is that right now, if I'm a tech lead, I need to go to a principal software or architect side
mm,
because I
mm,
think now I'm with years of experience, nobody gonna pay me for writing a code. I think right now the
yeah.
technology and the people we can see around me, they can code better than me. I think they
Mm,
require more than that. So right now I'm more into the business, more into
mm,
architecting side, and more
mm,
into making people learn.
mm. Fantastic, fantastic. So, if you had to, as you speak to people, do you think actually, like you talked about, you benefit from LinkedIn, but do you think youngsters and other people who are in the corporate space can benefit from this program? Do you think?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Hmm,
Because right now we can all, for example, the youngster which are coming, they don't have any idea about how the things working. They know,
hmm,
okay, I need to code Java that I can
hmm,
learn from 200 to 300 rupees in Coursera or in Udemy and those kind of courses. And I
hmm,
know there are personality development and these kinds of things, but they are not personal enough. For example, if I take any course, okay, I need to get my profile linked. there is no one to judge these things. So for example, first of all, when I first time when we were in call, I wrote something, you just judge me. Okay, this is not correct, write it this way. Okay, this is not correct, this do it this way. So
Mm,
the personal touch that I get from you, I
mm,
think that's the key point of that particular course.
mm. And then that is a fantastic story, and it's a brilliant success story, Samar. I mean, you really
Thank you.
landed yourself a good role. And so, what would be your, if you had to give a piece of advice to youngsters, what would you tell them? What would you do? What would you advise them to do differently? And what would be, because it's going to be watched by quite a few
Hmm.
people, right? So, what would be
Yeah.
your advice to them?
So the only advice is saying that okay, the coding and everything is okay. Everyone can learn. The thing is that you need to represent yourself. How to represent in a corporate world. So, for example, if I'm writing a code and writing it really well, one my manager will come and say, "Okay, well done." Nothing. There is no exposure to anybody else. So, I think if I go to your course, okay, if my company is sometime happen the company is not good, my manager is not getting me, but there are a couple of things that I know how to represent. I have done this. I can write it in this way in LinkedIn that people may know. So this
Mm,
will give you an exposure to a wider audience, and that's the
mm,
key of this thing that they need
mm,
to do in this scenario and this time, I think. And right now the job market is really open, so I think if they get a wider audience, most of time, I know they can't land up a job in a first interview, but with the time they can easily. But they just because if I'm right now working with a banking domain, I was only getting call from banking domain. I know you can say it's a financial also Mastercard, but Mastercard is a different. I never got a
correct.
call from before that. I only got from Credit Suisse, Citi, or something like this, US Bank. But now I'm getting from different, from AI to, yeah, for example, right now, today only I got a call from Tiny Chef. So that's into
Mm,
food and delivery from, I think it's a Sanjeev Kapoor's. So that
yeah.
I think that broaden your horizon.
Mm,
And it's not about LinkedIn. It's everywhere from your
true.
CV to LinkedIn to your, I think social media presence, because I know these guys check my LinkedIn and Instagram profile also.
Mm. Right. And you need to be consistent across all of them, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Samar. Um, Again, heartfelt thank you so much, Samar, for joining me today. And I know you worked hard, you've built a fantastic profile, and it's giving you the returns. I'm really, really privileged. But again, I'm really, really delighted. And I hope a lot of people take inspiration from you and they do it and fix their profiles and make it better, right? And to
Yeah,
get
yeah,
better opportunities.
yeah.
Any last thing, Samar, before we close?
Thank you, Amir. So the time that you've given me and the input that you gave live and personal input touch that you have given to us, that has really helped me in landing this job, I think. And future jobs also, because I'm gonna update everything everywhere and how to get a wider audience.
Absolutely, Summer. And Summer, before we end the session, I want one question that I really want to ask you.
Mhm,
When you moved from JP to Mastercard,
mhm,
right?
mhm.
What was the hike that you got?
So it's around 130%,
130%.
130%. Yeah,
Fantastic, fantastic, Summer. It's a wonderful thing, and really, really privileged that
thank you.
you kind of got the benefit of working with me and the program. And I hope all the very best to you as you move
Thank,
forward.
thank you for all your help.